it's our time. Our cries, the haunting soundtrack of our kind. Red eyes, don't you worry, it's alright. New highs, we haven't reached, just being wise. We own the night, it's where we come alive. To more than life, when we go back to life, it's on the ride. We're going on tonight. When you hear the clock strike, when you hear the clock strike, when you hear the clock strike 12, all in. We ain't got no hours to waste. Call in for that all familiar taste. Fall in just a little bit from grace. Darling, we're gonna make a mess out of this place. When you hear the clock strike 12, we own the night. It's where we come alive. To more than life, when we go back to life, it's down the ride. We're going wild tonight. When you hear the clock strike 12, when you hear the clock strike 12.
Hello, everybody. What is up? I'm gonna. So a little loud, or I feel like I'm a little loud. You guys let me know. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. It is morning in Texas. It is evening over here. Story of my life. But how are you guys doing? What's the plan for today besides, I mean, a lot of you hanging out in here this morning, but work is slow today. Feel. Definitely feel. Chillin'? Okay, alright. It's a chill Wednesday. It's hump day, so I mean there's that. Just started work. Fun. Fun. I know I catch some of you on your lunch breaks, so that's always good. Applying for jobs? Oh boy. Oh boy. And about to muster for work. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah, I'm gonna lower this. I see that I feel like I'm loud. But then, like, I know, like, once we start watching stuff, like, then people say I'm too soft. So, shit. Can't win. Pop in real quick. Got my naval architecture lab in an hour, so can't stay long. Oh, yeah, no problem, dude. You know, just chill out for as long as you want. Trying to find a first aid class? Okay. I mean, if you're in the US, the Red Cross should have a directory for all of the classes that they offer. So, because I remember, oh God, forever ago, once upon a time prior to the Navy, I worked as a camp counselor, and so I had to take like the basic babysitters course, which was like basic first aid for children. CPR and AED and all that fun stuff. And they did have a directory for that. Now, again, this was quite a few years back. So, yeah, I don't know if they still have that, but they should. They should. Hey, they had the Switch 2 announcement? Did they? Okay, I did not know about this. The only thing I saw on the internet today that I was absolutely devastated about is obviously I think most of you saw the unfortunate news of the passing. Man, Mr. Kilmer, Val Kilmer. But yeah, so that kind of sucked this morning. I'm not gonna lie. I liked him in Top Gun, obviously, but I also loved him in Batman. It's just a really, really good actor. I think it's crazy though. I didn't realize that he had in the first Top Gun, like it was like a ridiculously low amount of screen time. I believe it was like 10 minutes or so that he had on screen. And like it just amazes me that he made such an impact in those 10 minutes. Like I mean, that's insane. Like like absolutely insane. So no camel. Yeah. No camel spiders today. Absolutely not. I got my CPR certification a few years ago. It's not that hard of a process. You just got to go to the event and they certify you. Yes. Yeah. I mean, like we did it in the Navy. They would just pick people to go for the instructor course. And then after that, they would give CPR training. So, that was actually pretty easy, an easy process to keep my CPR certification. Although it is probably it's probably fucking expired. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably expired. When we get in from the depth of stream talking about naval, well, we'll definitely get into it. So I did want to say, hey Remy, we got a Remy lurk, awesome. I will say that I looked at PBS's carrier. I don't know what got into me this morning. I started having second thoughts. I was like, I wonder what the copyright is on this, because they used to post the full episodes on the carrier website and you could watch them like fully. Yeah, Adobe Flash Player RIP 2020. And they have not updated the website. So I am making the call that we're not going to watch PBS's Carrier, but I did find a really good alternative. Um, just because I really don't want us to get banned. This is the third week of streaming. I would rather us not play around with that. If you guys give me some more time, I will do some more digging into the actual licenses for it and everything. But yeah, so that's why I said we're gonna watch Navy videos instead of Carrier, like I said previously. But once I figure it out, we will definitely watch it. One of the reasons why I'm so hesitant to is because the let's see, I think Amazon has it and they're offering it like episodes for like $2, and then there were like a few other streaming sites that were also offering it, and I just like I don't know. Possibly the licensures got bought out again. I don't know. I'm one thing about me is like I'm super into copyright law for some reason, so I'm always like super careful. Obviously we have fair use and everything like that, but I didn't want to fuck around and find out. So Carrier Ops videos? No. So PBS did a documentary back in the day. It's called Carrier. It's back in 2008 where they followed the Nimitz on their deployment to the Middle East. And I've never watched it. I've only heard things, and I've heard good things about it. Some people were saying, it's a little bit of a trashy reality, a little bit. But I'm not gonna lie, being a sailor on a carrier on deployment is really do be like the Real Housewives. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. There are some times, bro, where you're like, this is so stupid. Like, why is this even a thing? The cardboard cutout person in chat has arrived. Well, hello. Welcome. We avoided the first 2 weeks ban, which is most common, so that's good at least. Okay. I don't want to fuck around and find out, let's not. Again, once I figure out who bought the licensures and who has the usage rights currently, then we can do it from there. But again, I did find a really good alternative. And they have like quite a few episodes. So we'll watch one, which is actually about Gerald R. Ford classes, which is super exciting. And then there are other videos that they have. So I will let you guys pick, as long as you are good. As long as you are good, there shall be no fighting in the chat about what we watch after. But yeah, so we can get that straight from YouTube. We will stream it straight from YouTube, so that way, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that we can avoid a ban. We love fair use here. But yeah, no promises. Well, if there's no promises, Remy is lurking. Okay, actually, there are hella mods in the chat. Okay, they will find you. So if you aren't good, they have full permission. They have full permission. But anyway, Remy's emotes are killing me. Oh god. Don't behave. Yeah. They have weapons on, for sure. If the chat does fight, I got my popcorn ready. This is not fight night, okay? We're not doing fight night here. What if I want to go to the break for fun? No. No. That is not the type of brig. Oh gosh. I know this snail. Oh god. Oh goodness. Alrighty. Well, I thought you were joking, but legit 4 mods in the chat went on. I'm not joking. I'm being dead serious. They did not come to, fuck around. That's what I'm saying. Like they have full authority, full authority. Um, surprise me. I'm gonna hop out. Have a great stream, Eve. Well, thank you for joining us for this short amount of time. Hopefully you'll be able to catch the VOD. You won't be able to see Remy's rep in action. Oh gosh. Oh no. Oh, well, I mean, maybe you will in the VOD. Oh god. Um, you have a math exam tomorrow. Oh no. Oh no. I'm gonna be real. Okay. When I got out of the military, I was like, I'm gonna go to school right away. So I went, I shopped around for universities. I was like looking at programs because the military offered me, free school after I got out because I have an honorable discharge and all that fun stuff. Anyway, so shopping around for programs, and every single one were, fucking, you had to take the acuplacer tests. And, your girl had not done math in 5 years, bro. 5 years. I said long division. Who is she? No, I was not a Marine. I was a sailor. Please do not insult me like that. I do not eat crayons. Um, but I am not good at math. Like I will be the first to say, like it does not make it doesn't make sense. As a person in STEM, like it does the M part of STEM just does not compute with me. As well as it should, in my opinion. I have to work extra hard at it. So anyway, I picked my program and they're like, okay, you have to take the math acuplacer. I pushed that off until the last minute. When I tell you I was stress watching Khan Academy videos to try to relearn like basic elementary math that like that like I had just like data dumped essentially because I don't really need it. Like SOHCAHTOA, like I'm not trying to find the hypotenuse of any triangles on a daily basis. So it was just gone. Oh god. So I had to like I was like, you know, relearning on Khan Academy, which bless that man. It's the only reason why I passed the math acuplacer. And luckily did not have to take any remedial classes, but like damn, it was it was not a good time. It was very stressful. And for the like first time in forever, I had like really bad test anxiety to the point where I thought like I was like I am going to hurl, bro. Like I'm not even a sugarcoat it. Like it's like my palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, vomit on my sweater already, mom's spaghetti, and I and the worst part is it was like a remote acuplacer, so like they watch you through your webcam on your laptop. So I just have this lady like staring at me while I'm doing math. She's probably I'm thinking she's judging my like my acuplacer like wow, she is so dumb. She can't add fractions. Oh god. But yeah. Yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. Is it true they give you steak and lobster if it's going to be a hard time? Yeah, if you're getting extended. I fear I've had steak and lobster one too many times. If you're getting extended or like some really bad news is about to hit, usually followed by the extension as well, then yes, you will get steak and lobster. Um, but yeah, she's just making sure you're not looking at it. Well, no. I know because like I've done like the CompTIA exams where like they watch you through the webcam, but like for the CompTIA exams, I feel a little less judged. Probably because it's like something that like I do on a daily basis, so I'm a little more familiar with the material. If I have to do math that I haven't done in 6 years, like I just like shit the bed. Like I'm not even gonna lie. I was an IT. I was not a CT. I got offered CT, but I went IT. Um, is possibly no place or guy you could buy a used Sea Harrier. Asking for a friend. I don't know. Craigslist. like Facebook Marketplace? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Uber is offering helicopter rides now in some areas, so could you imagine? Uber starts offering Harrier rides. Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh. But yeah, I feel less judged on the CompT exams. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I did not. I did not. It was just not fun. It was not fun. And I think the worst part is like I prepared thinking that this AccuPlacer test was going to be like 100 questions or something. They gave me 20. They gave me 20 questions, and I to say I was underwhelmed severely. And I kind of worked myself up for absolutely nothing, which is great, fantastic. Nailed that. Holy shit, I actually found one. You did not. Where? Asking for a friend. Uh, that's worse. Every question is worth more. Yeah, but they also take into account because they ask you, like, how long has it been since you've taken a math class? And I fully said 6 years. So I was like, I have not done math in 6 years. Yes, absolutely. Send it to message to talent. I'll see it. But it's weighted like that, so it's not. I don't know. Like they get your background, they take that into account in your score, but Lord. It's also not like one of the exams where like if you start getting questions wrong, it's gonna give you more questions to trip you up, which is nice because that's kind of what some IT cert exams do. Some that shall not be named. But yeah. I think the worst part is like I absolutely nailed the shit out of math on my ASVAB, like right before I went to the service. I definitely did not get a mage score. I got an 84. But like I did decent. But then again, I feel like ASVAB map was like Bobby has 4 apples and Sally has 5. How many apples do they have together? And I was like, perfect. This is just my speed. we can work with this. Like this is not bad. But then you start throwing shit like keep change flip in there. Yeah, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Oh gosh. Yeah, after service college math is a tad bit stressful. I still haven't taken my like math classes. Like they kind of just threw me into my concentration, which I don't know. It was just kind of due to like the program and what's going on with the program and the manning with the program. So they diverted me. I was taking gen eds and then they're like, actually, just kidding. we're going to go into your major and your concentration. But don't know how long you're in, but it was fun when you get into leadership tests and they offer you multiple choice questions. There's four answers or correct answers. I was in for 4 years. I took one advancement exam, and that was my E5 exam. We don't really have leadership tests. The Navy, like a year before I got out, just started doing leadership courses. They were a bit behind on the whole like leadership course trend. But yeah. I I don't know. I just I feel like the advancement exam for the Navy, like, yes, it is multiple choice. It's, A, B, C, D. There are usually 2 answers that are completely fucking wrong. Like, absolutely wrong. And then 2 answers that are, like, similar. It's very similar to the ASVAB, where, like, 2 answers that are completely wrong and bullshit, and then 2 answers that could be the possible. So that narrows you down to, like, a 50-50 chance. Yeah. So my thoughts on somebody asked my thoughts on ASVAB waiters. Here's my thoughts on anything related to military. If the person meets the requirements or gets waived in by the service, then and they do their training and they pass their training, have at it, bro. Like, who who am I to say that they can't serve in that capacity? So, uh, that explains why they're instilling values chief season for E7 selectees that the Air Force uses E4. So the other thing with the Navy that people don't quite know compared to the other branches is E7 is actually our NCO. So when you look at the enlisted pay grades in the recruit training book, it used to be E7 through E9 is, you know, your NCO. Yes, Remy, I did see that. Oh God, I almost crashed out this morning. I'm not even gonna lie. But anyway, so E7 through E9, that's your NCO. They always have gotten a season. They've always gotten leadership courses, but your E4, E5, and E6s, who honestly do NCO duties compared to other branches, never had that opportunity until 3 years ago, or I would say 4 years ago is when they started implementing. And so the way it goes is E4, they'll take FLDC, which is like Foundational Leadership Development course. What is the E5? Oh God, it's been a while. E5 has another one, and then E6 is ALDC, which is Advanced Development Leadership course. I can't remember what E5 is. Acronyms, so fun. But anyway, the Navy is weird. Point blank period. The way that we do rank structures is very different compared to the other branches. So that is why E7 selectees during chief season get taught stuff that an E4 should know. And that is one of the things that the Navy realized when they started developing these leadership courses. They were getting a lot of feedback that like E4 through E6 did want leadership courses. We were put in leadership positions. As an E4, I was running a watch floor. Same with E5. Like E6s, you're going to be a lead petty officer for a division. So yeah, those skills are needed. But I will also say that not a lot of what I learned came out of that class. A lot of what I learned came from trial and error, and I definitely was not the best leader. Like, first and foremost, like there was a lot of learning, like a shit ton of learning that had to go into it. And I think that is something that people, I hope they realize is that leadership and that skill in general is something you have to develop and something you have to learn, and it's something you have to develop your own personal style with. So anyone who thinks of themselves as best leaders nowhere's near a good leader. I mean, yeah, that is true. There is something to be said about that. But what about those who manage FCs, like fire controlmen, the rate? Just like some of you may die, and that's the sacrifice I'm willing to take. Okay. My my strategy for Star Wars Empire's War is not it's not a reflection on how I led my division or how I led my watch floor. So let's just be very clear. That was definitely not it. Yeah. No, if anything, I was the one who was pulling them by their collar saying, you need the proper safety gear for this shit. Before you even do this in my presence, you need to do, IVV, or you need to get a fire bottle ready, or you or you need to tie off your tools. That was another one. Oh my God. Oh, the tying off the tools, bro. That one was, yeah, allow me to be transparent. Oh God, yeah, no, the tying off the tools, bro. It just happened once, and after that, I was checking everybody. It's like we're not doing this again. Oh gosh, but yeah, that is such is life. Such is life as the E5 mom, I guess you could say, or E4 mom. Yeah, definitely big mom energy was needed. E4 Mafia for just a year. for just a year, and then I was in charge of the E4 Mafia. And we've already talked about that. If the E4 Mafia does some shit, you do not ask questions. Like, absolutely not. So what's the we dropped the wrench there? I mean, just that. Like, somebody dropped a tool. We heard the thud, and I was very much not happy. Very much not happy, especially after being assured, like, oh no, we tied off the tools. Like, don't worry. Like, we got this handled. Yeah. Okay. Sure. That was, extremely apparent. I will say, luckily, this was during an import period where everyone had to wear hard hats. So, if you have someone aloft or on the mast or something, if you don't want to drop a tool while someone walks underneath, yes, yeah, that's what I mean by tying off tools. You literally tie it to your person so that they, no, it didn't fall in the void space. We were on the mast. It fell damn near to the pier. Yeah, not good. No bueno. Definitely not the move there. Oh no, look out below. Yeah, it was even too late for us to pull one of those, I fear. But alrighty. Gotta watch the VOD later. Alrighty. Well, we will see you then. We'll see you at the VOD. Someone remind me at the end of the stream. We'll say hi to VOD watchers. Alrighty. I guess we could get into it since we're already telling Navy stories. I feel like we're gonna have some pretty good stories that come from this. This is my first impression of this. I have watched their other videos, so alrighty. Well, we gonna pull up the YouTube. Oh boy. But yeah, what yeah, that was an April Fool's joke. That was I don't know, I can't remember where that came from, but I know what you're talking about. That was an April Fool's joke. They are not changing the name. Please trust in that. Trust in that. But anyway, so this is from Navy Productions. They, like I said, they've actually got some like pretty cool videos and stuff. Which is dope. But yeah. But hold on. But anyway. I'll see trusted enlisted members with it's more complicated. Oh god. Well, to be fair, they are trained on that shit. 100%. They're trained on that shit. So anyways, like I was saying, Navy Productions, they have nothing to do with the Navy. They have no affiliation with the DoD. It just they pump out a lot of videos. So I did see one of like my ship that I was on, their most recent deployment, which I was like, yo, no way. So we're gonna watch this one, the Gerald R. Ford. Yeah, the only working Ford class carrier currently. Obviously, Enterprise is, she's getting there. But yeah, let's take a watch, shall we? You guys also let me know how the volume is, if we need to turn it up, turn it down, whatever it is.
The USS Gerald R. Ford is the largest city
Cool,
at sea
thank you, Remy.
and most technologically advanced aircraft carrier in the world. This massive supercarrier cost nearly $13 billion and took nearly 4 years for Newport News Shipbuilding to construct.
That's a lot of money.
It is a ship with thousands of people living, working, and sleeping on board for months at a time.
Voice is a
It
little
can
low.
launch or land an aircraft approximately every 25 seconds. This rapid tempo is made possible by the ship's advanced design and technology. The
Cool,
Gerald
thank
R.
you.
Ford is a massive aircraft carrier, stretching over 1,000 feet in length and boasting a displacement of over 100,000 tons. Powered by nuclear reactors,
Well, we
this
love
behemoth can
listing.
reach speeds exceeding 35 knots, allowing it to traverse oceans in mere weeks. Crew members are vital in ensuring the smooth operation of the carrier. They maintain the deck, search for foreign object debris that could damage aircraft,
Fod walk
and
down.
participate in daily
Woohoo.
operations. The navigation bridge serves as the heart of the carrier, where air control and navigation take place. Day and night, the ship buzzes with activity. The galleys churn out food non-stop, serving 3 meals a day plus midnight rations, also called mid-rats, a reheat of the day's leftovers, much beloved by
He
the tired
reminds me,
watchstanders
this guy,
and insomniac
he
pilots.
reminds me of
It is incredible, as it
a Master
involves
Chief we had
around
on board.
18,000 meals a day that's made
Also
by
a supply Master Chief, who he literally would just say, "Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Hi, how's it going?" And he'd say it to everybody walking by. He's just a super duper friendly guy, like super cool.
more than 100 cooks. While sailors eat, sleep, and work aboard the USS Gerald R. Ford, 2 nuclear reactors thrum deep
He loves a
inside
good
the
fod
ship,
walk down.
turning the screws that propel the ship and keep
It's
the
the first
lights
time
on.
I've ever heard that
Their
one.
600 megawatt combined output is 3 times the power plant on the Nimitz-class carrier the Ford is intended to replace, and enough to power a small city. When the sailors aren't working, they indulge in small pleasures. A fresh haircut from the ship's barber shop, a cup of Starbucks from the ship's coffee shop, a workout on the hangar deck where the
Definitely
open doors give
reusing
them a view of
old
the
video.
cold and
Those
foggy
blueberries.
Atlantic as they lift weights, row or pedal on stationary bikes. But life aboard the USS Gerald R. Ford is not easy. Conditions are cramped, with personnel navigating tight hallways and
The
steep
blue
staircases
tile.
to move from one part of the ship to another. The sleeping quarters are small, with sailors sharing a room with up
Yeah,
to
some of the
60
blueberries. I
other
was never
people in
issued
single
them,
bunks
but they
known
did
as
phase
racks.
out a
Everyone
year
in the
after
room
I
shares
joined.
a restroom
like
and
completely.
a small common area with a television,
So I could have
a
worn them,
storage
but
bin,
like, what's the
and
point?
an
You know?
upright locker for clothes and personal items. This is due to the fact that most of the space available on the ship is for equipment. Despite the confined conditions, the carrier has everything its crew members need to live comfortably. It has facilities you can't imagine in the middle of the sea. Let's take a look at it. The recreational areas. The recreational areas aboard the USS Gerald R. Ford cater to the crew's well-being and morale, providing them with a variety of activities to enjoy
We
during
did
their
not have a ping pong
downtime.
table, but like,
The
fuck,
ship features
I want
a
ping pong
well-equipped
table.
gym and fitness center, allowing crew members to stay fit and healthy. The facility offers various exercise
We had
equipment such as
7
treadmills,
gyms on
stationary
board
bikes, weight
on
machines, and
Nimitz
free weights.
class. I wonder
A
if
movie
they have
theater is
extra.
available to relax and enjoy films during their off-duty hours. The ship's library offers a quiet space for reading, studying, or simply relaxing with a good book. The Gerald R. Ford includes a barber shop, ensuring that the crew members have access to haircuts and grooming services while at sea. The barber shop is staffed by trained professionals and contributes to maintaining a neat and disciplined
I will say I am going to stop this right here. That like obviously they're using some old you know, some old footage that is not necessarily the Gerald R. Ford. So I just want to make that clear. But I will also say that there's not like a ton of differences between Ford class and Nimitz class. So just a little side note for those who are watching this who have like zero idea about carriers.
experience
yeah.
for the crew. The ship also features various game and lounge areas where crew members can unwind, socialize, and engage in leisure activities. These spaces may include comfortable seating, television screens, and gaming consoles, as well as board games, card games, and other recreational activities. One of the most crucial shops on an aircraft carrier is the ship's store.
Hell
The store
yeah.
offers a variety of items, including toiletries, clothing, and electronics. Sailors can purchase snacks, drinks, and other essentials, as well as souvenirs and gifts for their loved ones back home. Prices at the store are comparable to those on land, and sailors can pay with cash or credit. Sailors
That is not true. We we cannot pay with cash or credit. So the way that payment works at the store, so there's 2 stores on board. You have the ship store, which is the one that they're showing, And then there is the 7-Eleven. And the 7-Eleven is usually the one, it's a lot smaller, it has a lot less stuff in it. They don't have any uniform items. It's mainly just snacks for overnight watch standers. And the Eagle card, similar to the Eagle card. It's called Navy Cash. And essentially it is hooked up, you can hook it up to your bank account and you can put money in it. It's like a prepaid Visa card. Because there is no way to process payments on board. It's also a security risk. So if they are able to limit it just by using the cash card, then, you know, it's helpful. It's helpful.
Receive a non-taxable basic allowance for subsistence, or BAS, to cover their food costs on board.
I gotta pause it here too. Again, okay, so BAS is not, it's actually deducted from our pay when we're underway or when the galley is open. So it's BAS, bring a sandwich. So true. It is deducted from our pay if there is a available dining facility, which means if the galley is open and making food, you do not get BAS. So I'll correct that as well.
They can use
I'm not trying to do this to be like, well, actually, I want to make sure that we are, you know, also making this a transformative content video. So as much as, you know, we love watching these videos, I do want to make sure we are providing some good commentary.
The exchange card to buy groceries and other items at ship stores, which have prices similar to those on shore. Operated by the Navy Exchange Service Command, or NEXCOM, these stores offer various products, and profits are reinvested to maintain low prices for sailors. Food. These recreational areas not only offer a respite from the demanding work environment on board, but also help to foster a sense of camaraderie and teamwork among the crew. In addition to the recreational facilities, the sailors also have access to the ship's galley, where they can have their meals. The galley of an aircraft carrier is the heart of the ship. It's a bustling hive of activity that operates 24 hours a day, serving up to 18,000 meals a day to the crew of the ship. The galley is one of the most essential and critical parts of an aircraft carrier because feeding thousands of people at sea is
yeah,
no
they're
easy
having
feat.
brunch where he's carving that up. That is brunch.
Kitchen,
that is Sunday brunch,
several
dude.
decks on the ship.
You get like 2 of those a month.
A variety of ovens,
if you are
fryers,
lucky.
grills, and other
honestly, it's great.
It's
something that, like, even if I was
the galley is staffed
on night
by
shift,
over
I would wake up
100
for.
sailors, many of whom have specialized training.
Does
in
inflation hit the
culinary
ship
arts.
store? Yeah. So the prices are like comparable to the States. I will say, if you are in a certain area of operation and they are able to import, like, let's say Japanese canned coffee, which was my favorite. If we were operating in the South China Sea or in 7th Fleet in general, we got the Coffee Boss, we got the little Georgia canned coffees. Those were fire, bro. Those are a lot cheaper than if I were to import them myself. But inflation does hit the ship store. Did they have a funeral house? You mean like a morgue? Is that what you're talking about?
Every day. So sailors can grab a meal whenever they have a free moment. Meals are served
That's
in
actually
shifts to
something
ensure
they
that the
have
crew
on
is
here.
fed
It's actually
throughout
about
the day.
burials at sea.
The food is always fresh, and the menu changes every day to provide a variety for the crew. To ensure the freshness of the food, the galley receives regular resupply missions from other ships.
Okay. I will answer that as yes and no. I'm not going to give you the actual answer to that because it can be a little triggering. So I'm gonna say yes and no. We're just gonna leave that open-ended, okay? Yeah, that's how we are going to handle that one.
This resupply mission is known as an underway replenishment, where a supply ship meets the aircraft carrier at sea to provide food, fuel, and other essential supplies. This enables the galley to serve up fresh meals daily, even on
I've
extended
heard a couple
missions.
things about the Navy during wartime.
The galley
If they're
is
serving
divided
hearty
into
meals,
various
there's
sections,
a
each with a
dangerous mission
specific
ahead.
responsibility.
Not
There's a bakery
necessarily. You
section
might
where
be
fresh
referring
bread
to the
and
steak and
pastries are made
lobster
every
thing,
day.
but
The salad
not
section provides
necessarily.
fresh greens and toppings, while the entree section is responsible for the hot dishes. The dessert section, of course, is where the sweets and treats are prepared. Meals are served buffet style. with sailors able to help themselves to a wide range of dishes. The galley provides plenty of options, from classic American dishes like hamburgers and hot dogs to international cuisine like sushi and stir fry. There's always something for everyone. The galley
Never in my 3.5 years did I ever get sushi. Where did that info come from? But okay. All right. Okay.
The galley also caters to sailors with specific dietary requirements. For example, sailors who are vegetarian or have food allergies can request special meals, which the galley will prepare to meet their needs.
That is also not true. Your dietary restrictions are handled by yourself. This is that's not that is unfortunately not true. It is kind of the belief that you are an adult. If you have a certain dietary restriction, that you take care of it yourself, you know? Also, I will say that, like, yeah, on the Japanese Defense Forces, oh man, I would love to be on one of their ships and have, oh, God, yes.
This ensures that everyone on board the ship is well fed and healthy. Before we go any further, I'm curious to know if you have
no
this much
fishermen on
respect
board.
for the men and women of the U.S. Navy. Like this video to express your respect and thank them for their service. Or leave a blue heart below this video. Let's move on.
Okay.
Resupply. How does the ship
Ooh,
get
okay,
resupplied in the
Razes,
middle
hell
of the
yeah.
sea if it's on a mission for months? The process of resupplying an aircraft carrier in the middle of the sea is a carefully planned and choreographed operation. In many cases, the aircraft carrier is accompanied by a fleet of supply ships, which are tasked with the
merchant
crucial
marines.
responsibility of keeping the aircraft carrier operational.
Raz
The resupply
unrep.
process is carried out using an ingenious
Same
system known
difference.
as the underway replenishment.
It's
This
same
system
same.
involves
It
supply
happens
ships
at the
coming
same time.
alongside the aircraft carrier while both vessels are still in motion. The two vessels are then connected using a series of cables, lines, and hoses, which are used to transfer supplies, fuel, and ammunition from the supply ship to the
Yeah.
aircraft carrier. The process of transferring fuel is particularly delicate, as it involves transferring large amounts of volatile and combustible material from one vessel to the other.
True.
To ensure safety, the supply ships are equipped with a series of safety measures, including spill containment systems, fire suppression equipment, and other safety gear.
I
The
did have joint
process of
exercises. I
resupplying
did
an
rim
aircraft
pack.
carrier is carried out by a team of sailors
But I
who are
never went on
specially
board any
trained
other ships.
in underway replenishment.
I went
These
on board a Japanese LHD and a Peruvian destroyer just to run a aloft chit. We had to basically tell them that we were gonna be aloft. That was the only time. As for joint exercises, I was in charge of like doing comms, so I would have contact with them through those avenues, but not to the point where like I could go and visit a ship, which kind of sucks. I really would have liked that if they were just to be like, go on vacation, Eve, have fun, eat sushi on the Japanese Defense Forces ships. I would have, oh my god, I would have died happy.
Sailors are responsible for ensuring that the transfer of supplies and fuel is carried out quickly and efficiently, minimizing the amount of time the aircraft carrier spends
No, not Japanese.
alongside
I'm
the
sorry, I
supply
meant
ship.
South Korean.
The process of resupplying an aircraft carrier is not without its challenges. The high seas can be unpredictable, with rough weather and high waves making it difficult to carry out the transfer of supplies and fuel. Additionally, the process of transferring large amounts of material from one vessel to another requires a high degree of coordination and skill, as a single mistake can have catastrophic consequences.
Yeah. Well,
Let's move on to the hangar bay.
the other thing they
Before we
didn't
get
cover during that is vert rep. Vert rep is essentially where we will send helos to go and pick up stuff. So yeah, that they missed the vert rep, but they pretty much nailed the RAS and
To
the
the dangerous
unrep.
flight deck, let's see what happens in the hangar bay. Located directly below the flight deck, and probably the largest space on the Atlantic, where mechanics in green shirts crawl like ants all over planes, peering into engines with flashlights and turning wrenches. The hangar bay of the USS Gerald R. Ford is a bustling, dynamic area where aircraft are stored, maintained, and prepared for flight operations. The hangar bay is an essential part of the ship's overall mission, and the sailors working there play a crucial role ensuring that the aircraft are ready for action whenever needed. The space is massive, capable of housing multiple aircraft, and the atmosphere is filled with the sounds of machinery, power tools, and the hum of the ship's engines.
It is very loud
One of
in
the
the hangar
primary
bay.
responsibilities
shit.
of the sailors working in the hangar bay is aircraft maintenance. This includes routine inspections, repairs, and servicing of the aircraft to ensure they're in peak condition
Hey,
and
yo!
ready for flight operations. Sailors work in teams, each specializing in a specific area of aircraft maintenance, such as airframes, engines, avionics, or weapon systems. They use a combination of technical manuals, computer-based diagnostic tools,
Ready
and
to, like,
hands-on
back
experience
people.
to perform their duties. Another essential task in the hangar bay is moving the aircraft. The sailors use specialized equipment such as tow tractors and aircraft jacks to maneuver the planes in and out of their parking spots and onto the ship's
About
elevators. These
about
elevators transport
90.
the aircraft between the hangar bay.
The carrier can hold like about 90. It depends on what type, how many of each type. Like there's like hella math that goes into it. In a perfect world, like where like everything weighs what it's supposed to, 90. But yeah, I would agree it's closer to 70. Also, it's not necessarily all, they're not stored all in the hangar bay. That's considering like we're storing on the hangar bay and on the flight deck. So.
And the flight deck, where they're launched and recovered during flight operations.
Throughout
Throughout the day, the hangar bay may also be used for training exercises and drills. These activities help sailors to sharpen their skills and ensure that they're prepared for any situation that may arise.
Playing
during
firefighter,
real-world
my
operations.
favorite.
Training scenarios can include firefighting drills, damage control exercises, and emergency response simulations. Safety is a top priority in the hangar bay, and sailors are continually mindful of potential hazards. Let's move on up to the flight deck.
Late
Life on the
flight
carrier
deck.
can be incredibly demanding and exhausting, but it's also exhilarating, particularly for the men and women working on the flight deck, launching and landing jets on a small runway. On the USS Gerald R. Ford, the flight deck is the epicenter of activity, a bustling and dynamic environment where cutting-edge aircraft launch and land around the clock. Measuring approximately 1,092 feet in length and covering
Yes,
4.5
the Ford is
acres,
active. She's already
flight
been
deck
on
of this
her
massive
first
aircraft
deployment.
carrier can accommodate over 75 aircraft, including advanced fighter jets, surveillance planes, and helicopters. The flight deck is divided into separate zones for launching and recovering aircraft. On one end, the aircraft are launched using advanced electromagnetic aircraft launch systems, or
Hell
EMALS,
yeah.
a groundbreaking
That's
technology
what you all
that
wanted.
has replaced the traditional steam-powered catapult. This innovative system also allows for smoother and more efficient launches, reducing
That is
wear
what
and tear on the
y'all
aircraft while
wanted.
increasing their
Everybody
payload
was
capacity.
cheering about it in
Meanwhile,
chat.
on the other end of the flight deck, aircraft land using an arresting gear system that features advanced arresting gear, or AAG.
The radiation
When an
issue.
tailhook lands, it deploys
What?
a tailhook that catches one of the arresting wires
What?
stretched across the deck. The AAG system then absorbs this kinetic energy, bringing the aircraft to a complete stop in just a short distance. This advanced system also allows for safer and more efficient recovery of aircraft, even in challenging weather conditions. But what happens when one of the arresting gear breaks during landing? In the unlikely event that an arresting cable breaks during an aircraft landing on an aircraft carrier like the USS Gerald R. Ford, safety measures and procedures are in place to minimize the risks and damage. First, pilots are highly trained to respond to such situations, which includes executing a bolter. A bolter occurs when an aircraft fails to catch the arresting cables and needs to immediately take off again. Pilots are prepared to apply full throttle and quickly gain altitude, allowing them to circle back and attempt another landing. The aircraft carriers are designed to have ample runway space to enable aircraft to gain enough speed to become airborne in such scenarios. Secondly, the arresting gear systems on modern aircraft carriers, like the advanced arresting gear on the USS Gerald R. Ford, are designed with multiple redundancies. There are several cables stretched across the deck, so if one cable fails or breaks, the chance of the aircraft's tailhook engaging with another cable are still relatively high. In addition, the AAG system is continually...
Actually, we were talking about like TikTok comments the other day, and there was one of them where the guy, I don't know if you guys know the meme where they're like off to the liquor store meme. Well, it was the opposite. So they were like, oh, they're coming back from the liquor store. And the guy caught like the last wire. And some 13-year-old kid, because I was being nosy, of course. Some 13-year-old kid was like, he caught the fourth wire. He didn't even, and someone started roasting him in the comments, like, kid, stick to your flight sims. He's actually flying the plane. And I was like, oh no, like, this kid got humbled, but like, fair enough. Like, buddy, you just people are like I said yesterday in stream, like, people on certain like communities of TikTok are ruthless, bro.
Fully monitored and maintained.
But that just reminded me of that. I thought it was
performance and
quite funny.
Regular inspections and maintenance checks minimize the likelihood of cable failures during critical flight operations. Moreover, the ship's crew is trained to respond to emergencies,
especially when it comes to
including
military.
arresting cable failures. In the case of a cable break or snap, the crew quickly assesses the situation and clears any debris from the flight deck to ensure the safe return of the aircraft on its subsequent attempt. Okay,
I haven't heard that
crew members on the flight deck.
Years.
First, you can help us by liking this video or leaving a blue heart in the comments, especially for all the crew members
back
aboard
to the
a US
Navy
days. Ship. Show your respect and encourage them. Each crew member wears a colored shirt that corresponds to their specific role, making it easier to identify them amid the flurry of activity. Yellow shirts are aircraft handling officers, responsible for directing the movement and the positioning of aircraft on the flight deck.
They gotta get it in, man.
They
gotta rack up the lights.
And the ship's commanding officer during flight operations. Green shirts are maintenance personnel and aircraft inspectors who ensure that the aircraft are in optimal condition.
And I will be leaving a like because we are watching their video, so.
They perform routine checks, repairs, and necessary adjustments to guarantee the plane's safety and performance. Blue shirts are the plane handlers who assist in moving the aircraft on the flight deck and in the hangar bay. They use tow tractors and other specialized equipment to maneuver planes into the correct positions for takeoff, landing, and storage. Purple shirts are the fuel handlers, also known as the Grapes due to their distinctive
I was gonna say
uniforms. They're responsible for refueling aircraft on the flight deck and monitoring the ship's fuel supply. They ensure that each plane
we call everybody in a colored shirt, like
follow strict
Skittles.
safety protocols during the refueling process.
Yeah, there it is, Mobius said Skittles people.
Handlers and crash and salvage crew members. The ordnance handlers manage the loading, unloading, and storage of weapons and ammunition on the aircraft. The crash and salvage crews are specifically trained to respond to emergencies, such as an aircraft crash, a fire, or other incident on the flight deck. They work with firefighting equipment, rescue gear, damage control tools to minimize risk and protect the crew and aircraft during emergencies. Brown shirts are typically aviation bosun's mates, and they're responsible for the operation and maintenance of the ship's aircraft catapults, arresting gear, and other equipment related to flight deck operations. They play a crucial role in the launching and recovery of aircraft,
like line shack or like
the carrier's flight operations run smoothly and safely. In addition to these color-coded roles, there are also white shirts, who are medical personnel, safety observers, and landing signal officers. They oversee the overall safety of the flight deck operations and provide medical assistance when necessary. On the busy and noisy flight deck of an aircraft carrier like the USS Gerald R. Ford, effective communication is crucial for maintaining safety and efficiency. One of the primary ways that flight deck personnel communicate is through the use of a complex system of hand signals. These signals allow crew members to convey essential information without relying on spoken word, which could be difficult
you
to
can't hear
over
shit
the
out
roar
there.
of the jet engine.
You really
Each role
can't.
on the flight deck has its own set of hand signals that they use to communicate with each other and with the pilots. These
If you ever try to do like
coordinate the movement
comms
of aircraft,
checks on the LSO
equipment,
platform,
and personnel,
it is just
ensuring that all operations run smoothly and safely. Some hand signals are used to instruct pilots on the speed and direction they should taxi. For instance, the marshaller may use a come forward signal, which consists of both
Yeah,
arms
and
extended
everybody
forward,
has
palms
the
facing
cranials
up,
on
in
with
an
the
upward
headset.
scooping motion. To instruct a pilot to turn, the marshal extends one arm in the desired direction while the other arm points towards the ground. During aircraft recovery, the landing
That's what I'm
signal
talking about.
officer,
That
or
this
LSO,
right here.
uses a
Ugh.
series of hand signals.
This. Yeah, that was the egg. This right here is LSO. So that's what I'm talking about. This guy on the phone. This guy, he's got no hearing. I like bro's left ear shot. My hearing is bad, and I wasn't even on there like regularly. I just did nightly comms checks, so I can only imagine working
which
like
instructs the pilot
consistently
to
on the
abort
flight
the
deck.
landing attempt and go around for another approach. The LSO extends both arms straight out to the sides and waves them vigorously up and down. The flight deck is
Not
also
service
equipped
related.
with visual
I mean, that
landing
is what they
aids,
told
such
me.
as the Fresnel Lens Optical Landing System, or FLOLS, FLOLS for
Hi,
short,
Foles.
which provides pilots with glide slope information to ensure a safe landing. However, hand signals remain an essential backup communication method in case of system failures or other emergencies. Crew members are trained to respond quickly and accurately to these hand signals, as miscommunications can lead to
Remy.
dangerous situations.
No.
Regular drills and training exercises help to reinforce the use of hand signals and ensure that all personnel are familiar with their meanings.
I
Operating on a
did
flight
not
deck
fend
is
off
an
a Kraken.
already
Can't say I've
challenging
done that.
task. But when faced with varying weather conditions, the demands on the crew become even more formidable. High winds, heavy rain, and low visibility can significantly impact flight deck operations, requiring crew members to adapt and execute their duties with heightened precision and caution. High winds are a common concern, as they can affect aircraft takeoffs and landings, making them more challenging and even more dangerous. When faced with strong winds, crew members must use their training to securely handle the aircraft to the flight deck to prevent them from being blown off course or causing damage to themselves or the ship. Pilots must also rely on their expertise and communication with the landing signal officer to execute safe takeoffs and landings under these challenging conditions.
He
Heavy
was really
rain
going.
poses
Did you see
another
the
challenge for flight deck
He
personnel.
was doing a full
Rain
windmill,
can
bro.
reduce visibility and create slippery surfaces, increasing the risk of accidents.
He was putting his
Crew members
back
must
into it,
exercise
like
extra caution
not
when moving
fucking
around the
around.
flight deck and handling aircraft during rainy conditions. They may also need to don specialized protective gear to stay dry and maintain their footing. In extreme cases, flight deck operations may be temporarily halted if the rain becomes too intense or if lightning is present, as it poses a significant risk to both the crew and the equipment. Low visibility situations, such as fog or heavy cloud cover, can also complicate flight deck operations. Pilots rely heavily on visual cues for
So
takeoffs
for those
and
for those
landings.
of you who are
So redu-
again, don't know what you're looking at, this is the back of the ship. So there are cameras all over the ship that literally watch everything that happens. And this one just so happens to see incoming approaches. So normally what'll happen is if you're watching the feed on the flight deck, you'll see the incoming, and then it'll cut to the second camera where they actually catch. That was like our Sunday night football during
Reduced
whatchamacallit,
visibility can make these tasks more challenging.
during the
In these scenarios, the ship's advanced radar and communication systems become crucial, allowing pilots to
flight
receive
calls, flight
accurate
deck
guidance
calls.
and coordinate with the flight deck personnel. The Fresnel Lens Optical Landing System, or FLOLS, plays a vital role in providing
I
pilots
don't know why the way he says flaws. I got eyeballs.
with glide
But,
slope information to ensure
um,
safe landings, even in low visibility
I just
conditions.
there's like an accent.
Emos.
The narrator puts an
How are the
accent
aircraft
on
on the
it.
flight deck of an aircraft carrier launched so quickly off the deck? EMALS is a technology that uses electromagnetic power to launch aircraft off the flight deck, replacing the old steam catapults used on previous carriers. The system consists of linear motors that generate a magnetic field that propels the aircraft down the catapult track. One of the most significant
Oh
advantages
shit,
of
we got a
Emos over
raid!
Steam
Hello,
is
Anarchy
its ability
Raid!
to launch
Hello, how are you guys? Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, I was like, I'm looking at the, the chat in the corner of the screen. I'm like, what are we, what are we doing for freedom? Hello, welcome. We are watching some Navy videos and trying to provide some context. But anyway, for those of you who are just joining us, I'm Eve80. I am the reincarnation of past USS Enterprise carrier namesake and the future CVN-80, which is a Gerald R. Ford class. So we are, I thought this was going to be just Gerald R. Ford, but it looks like we are getting some footage from Nimitz classes. So, yeah. How was your stream? How did that go? How are you? Well, thank you, Anamarchy. Thank you for sharing the love. I appreciate it. We are not fine. Brain rotting. Oh gosh. Oh no.
Of aircraft. The old steam catapults require different settings for
you guys are just in time because after I'll give you the deets. After we're done with this one, I will allow chat to pick the next video so long as you are good. Okay, we do have mods at the ready to whack people who are not good and decide to start fights. So if you're gonna duke it out, not here. Remy is ready. But yeah, we are currently watching on the Navy Productions YouTube channel. So
put more stress on the aircraft and their pilots. In contrast, Emos can adjust its launch settings automatically, allowing for a smoother and more efficient launch process. Another significant advantage is its ability to reduce maintenance and operating costs. Steam catapults require extensive maintenance and can break down more frequently due to their complex mechanical systems. In contrast, Emos has fewer moving parts and a simpler design, making it more reliable and easier to maintain.
Irrationally angry at how wrong it was.
Perhaps
I've got to admit, this video we were watching now, I did roast them on their galley portion. And I feel kind of bad. There was some information that I needed to correct, and it wasn't. I'm not trying to. Well, actually, I just wanted to let people know.
To increase safety for aircraft and pilots. Steam catapults use a burst of steam to launch aircraft, which can cause stress on the airframe and the pilot. In contrast, Emos provides a smoother launch, reducing the stress on the aircraft and pilots and minimizing the risk of damage or injury. The Emos is a massive feat of engineering. The system is capable of launching aircraft weighing up to 100,000 pounds,
I'm doing a little bit.
making it capable of launching everything from fighter jets to heavy cargo planes. It's also capable of launching aircraft at speeds of up to 165 knots, making it faster and more efficient than the old steam catapults. But it is just one of the many advanced features of the USS Gerald R. Ford. The ship is also equipped with advanced weapon systems,
here we go,
radar and
Sea-Wiz.
communication systems, and state-of-the-art propulsion technology. All of these features work together to make the Ford the most capable and lethal warship in the world. As the lead ship of its class, the Ford is the epitome of modern naval warfare and technological prowess. Its advanced features ensure that it is not only the most powerful warship, but also the most capable of defending itself and dominating the seas. One key aspect of the Ford's capabilities lies in its state-of-the-art radar and communication systems.
This works. Somebody actually asked about the waste management. I didn't know if they were going to go into this.
These systems are designed to enable the ship to detect and track threats at long range.
If that is genuinely a question, I can't answer it.
In real time, and engage and defeat
threats.
Oh god,
but yes, the Ford did have some toilet issues, I fear,
advanced
during sea trials.
Capabilities, including satellite communications and secure radio systems. These systems allow the ship to maintain constant communication with other naval assets, including other ships, aircraft, and command centers, and enable the ship to share data and information in real time.
favorite
This
chore points
communication
on the ship.
capability is critical
Give
for
dad
effective command
jokes.
and control
Oh, God.
of the ship's weapon systems, as well as for coordinating with other naval assets in the theater. The Ford is also equipped with advanced passive radar and electronic warfare systems. The ship's passive radar system is capable of detecting and tracking targets without emitting any detectable signals, making it difficult for an enemy to detect the ship's presence. The ship's electronic warfare systems are designed to jam and disrupt enemy radar and communication systems, further increasing the ship's survivability and effectiveness in
It
combat.
seems like the proper amount of
All of these
overkill.
advanced radar and communication systems work together
Oh,
to make the USS Gerald R. Ford the most advanced and effective warship in the world. The ship's ability to detect and track threats at long ranges, communicate effectively with other naval assets, and engage and defeat threats with precision enable it to dominate on the seas. But is the Gerald R. Ford impossible to sink? Although no ship
Why
can
did
be
you make
considered
that
impossible to
hyperbole?
sink,
I
the
had
Ford's
to-
design
I had to look
and
at what you were
technology
talking about, but
make
now
it
I see
one of the
it.
most resilient warships in the world. One of the key aspects contributing to the Ford's survivability is its stealth technology. The ship's superstructure is designed with angles and materials that reduce its radar cross-section, making it more difficult for
No,
enemy
they
radar
do not
to
launch
detect and track.
airstrikes on pirate paddle boats.
Additionally, the Ford's propulsion system produces less noise
No,
and heat,
no,
making
that
it
that
harder
is
for
definitely
adversaries to detect it
overkill.
using sonar or infrared sensors. Another factor
They're
contributing to the
usually
ship's
handled by
resilience is its
small
advanced
boys,
damage
and they're
control
handled
system.
by
The
VBSS.
Ford is equipped with state-of-the-art firefighting and damage control equipment, as
Yeah,
well as
damage
specially
control.
trained personnel who can quickly respond to emergencies such as fires, floods, or battle damage. The ship also features improved compartmentalization, with watertight doors
Oh,
and bulkheads
boy.
designed to limit the spread of flooding in case of hull
I still
breaches.
have my flash gear.
Ford's
So what
extensive
they're
defensive
wearing in
capabilities-
the video, for those that do not know, see mansplaining, is flash gear, and so the hood and the gloves. The only thing is like you have to wash them hose. Like they get stinky. Like I am not even gonna lie. You could literally be just like medium sweating, and I don't know what it is about them. They just Remy, them what? I know I probably should have censored myself. Oh well. Anyway, it's just like you could have a medium amount of sweat, like, you know, didn't even do a whole lot, and they just, I don't know, they just like attract the scent.
Further
It's
enhance
just, I don't know.
survivability.
I
The
don't
ship's
know.
missile defense system, such as the
It was
Evolved Sea
just
Sparrow
not-
missile or
They did
ESSM,
not smell
and the
good.
Rolling Airframe Missile or RAM,
Ram.
also provide robust protection against airborne threats,
Wham.
while the close-in weapon system provides a last line of defense
I'm
against
resisting the
incoming
urge to
missiles and
make
small
a Ram
boats.
joke.
Furthermore,
A
the Ford
reference-
operates as part of a larger
A
naval
reference
task force,
to
typically
a
including
song.
guided missile cruisers, destroyers, and submarines, which provide additional layers of protection against enemy threats. This combined force can deter or neutralize potential attackers before they can pose a significant threat to the carrier. Is there a risk of the aircraft falling off the flight deck? Although aircraft
That's not
carriers
supposed
such
to
as the
happen.
Ford are designed to minimize the risk of in-flight accidents,
But it does
it
happen.
is still possible for
unfortunately.
aircraft to fall off the deck under certain circumstances. However, various safety measures and procedures exist to reduce the likelihood of such incidents. In addition to weather monitoring systems, the Ford's flight deck is also designed to
Let's
minimize
not
the risk
watch
of
scenes from
aircraft falling off the
from
deck.
2012
The deck
hit
features
action
non-slip
sci-fi movie
surfaces for
Battleship.
better traction for aircraft during takeoff and
I am
landing.
scarred.
The
I'm
ship's
scarred
advanced
from that
arresting
movie.
gear
Do you guys
is
know how many
designed
times I had to watch
decelerate
that in
aircraft
maps?
safely and
I'm
efficiently
pretty
during
sure I
landing,
told that story.
reducing the
I watched it
likelihood of
5
them shooting
times,
across the
waiting
deck.
to sign my
In
contract.
an emergency, such as when the
5
cockpit of an
times.
aircraft
I love
becomes
Rihanna.
inoperable
She
or a brake
slays
fails,
in that movie.
safety
But-
barriers called jet blast deflectors can be raised to prevent the
cannot watch
aircraft
it
from rolling
anymore.
over the edge of the deck.
I can't.
These barriers are made of reinforced
5
steel
times.
and can
5
withstand the
times.
force
They
of a
didn't
jet
change
engine,
the
providing
DVD.
an
It was
additional
just-
layer of
They had a
protection.
DVD player. That's how far
Flight
back
deck
they
crew
were.
members who wear the colored shirts are also trained to
5
respond
times in
to
a row.
emergencies
Like,
and
just-
coordinate with other departments
Oh.
to ensure the safety of both aircraft and personnel. Regular drills contribute to a high level of crew preparedness and situational awareness,
Hell yeah.
further
Crash.
reducing the risk of accidents. As we delve deeper into the advanced capabilities of
You
the
couldn't finish
USS
the
Gerald
movie?
R.
Oh
Ford,
god, I'm so
it's worth
sorry.
exploring also one of its most groundbreaking weapon system. This system not only offers unprecedented power, but also has the potential to revolutionize naval warfare. Perhaps the most notable feature of the
The Mo
ship's
movie.
weapon system is
Yes,
its
the Mo movie.
electromagnetic railgun. The railgun is a revolutionary weapon system that uses an electromagnetic field to accelerate projectiles up to hypersonic speeds. The railgun has a
April
range of
Fool's
up
is not-
to 100
how
nautical
about
miles
Operation
and is
Room
capable
video?
of firing
We're not
projectiles at
talking- oh,
speeds
God.
of up to Mach 7.
Oh god.
This makes it one of the most
Well,
advanced
we're gonna
and
pick
lethal
a
weapons in the
A
world.
different video from this
The
channel.
railgun has been in development by various departments of the U.S.
I
military
will have to
over
have
the past few years.
a talk with Anna
In
Markey.
several
We'll have
tests,
to
it was
do
shown
a
to be
watch
able to easily
for
pierce
his
the hulls of
videos.
aircraft carriers. One of the major factors that have hindered the deployment of a railgun technology by the U.S. military is the fact that not only does it require an obscene amount
You
of
have permission.
energy
I know I
to
have
operate,
permission. It's
but
just
it
I don't
also
have the
generates a
time
lot
to.
of
That's
heat
the issue.
that can warp the barrel of the gun.
You do
making
deep
it a
dives. I want to
one-time
be able to
use.
give you the
It
time
requires
necessary.
a ton of cooling for the barrel and the superconductors, creating
I've
the
gotta
magnetic
like
field in the
schedule
rail.
out a block.
Due to all these reasons, it is still impossible to deploy them
Preferably
on armored
not when I
tanks
have
and
a
aircraft.
lecture. Ugh.
But it is possible to deploy them in aircraft carriers like the Ford. Why? Well, it's because the USS
Enterprise,
Gerald R. Ford comes
all
with 2
5
nuclear
hours.
reactors.
You
that
know,
can
all
generate
6
up to
hours.
1.38 megawatts of electricity.
I stand
That's
corrected.
almost
Sorry,
triple
all
that of
6
the Nimitz
hours.
class.
That's gonna
Therefore,
be.
this power generated should be more
We'd
than enough
have to
power
have,
the
like,
railguns.
You know,
Another factor
Oh,
that is
boy.
beneficial to the deployment
be a
of
marathon.
railguns on high seas
I
is
think we
the
could definitely do it.
availability
It
of
would be a
water.
marathon though.
Water from the seas can be employed to cool the barrels of the railguns. Another critical
Marky
component
Week.
of the Gerald R. Ford's offensive capabilities is the Tomahawk land attack missiles, or TLAMs,
T-lamps.
which are long-range, all-weather subsonic cruise missiles capable of both sea and land-based
T-lam.
assaults. The Tomahawk land attack missiles, simply called Tomahawks, are an important piece in an aircraft
Yeah.
carrier's attack capability. They are long-range, all-weather subsonic cruise missiles capable of both sea and land-based assaults. Tomahawks boast a range
Yup.
of up to 2,500 kilometers. These missiles can strike targets deep within enemy territory without endangering the USS Gerald R. Ford. Furthermore, because of their advanced guidance
Carriers themselves
systems
do
and
not
they are
carry
extremely
Tomahawks.
accurate,
However, there are
this
T-LAM
enables them to
operators
strike
who
targets
are
with
on
high
carriers.
precision, reducing the
Um,
risk of collateral damage
excuse me.
and increasing the strike's
And that's
effectiveness.
that's more for redundancy.
What do you find the most fascinating thing about the Gerald R. Ford? Or are you working on a U.S. Navy ship? Please let us know in the comments below and share your thoughts and experiences. Leave a blue heart in the comments as well
Oh
to thank
boy!
all the crew
All
members.
right, so the only thing I really roasted them on was the galley, which is good, but most of the information was correct. We did have to mansplain the galley a little bit because they were saying, yeah, they have access to sushi, and I was like, when in my 3.5 years did we ever get sushi? Because I was not like man, I must have missed that day. I must have missed that day. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, perfect. What happens when pirates attack? Somebody said that. Oh god. BAS bring us sushi. Oh gosh. Oh god. The sub that sunk the USS Ronald Reagan. We can. Let's see. I was gonna do one from this, but if there is a overwhelming need or want. Let me actually move this. I just didn't want to, there we go. Okay. That one's about submarines. Ugh, submarines. No. No, 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 no. No, no submarines. Also, I will put the kibosh on anything political. We will not be going into politics. That is a line that I have just personally. Yeah, no attack videos. we're not doing that. We will be hello? Do you wait a second? Do you see the thumbnail that I am seeing? So that's Oscar. We call I'm laughing way too hard at this. I'm sorry, because it brings up a really funny Oscar video. Oscar is a dummy. Every carrier has Oscar dummies. He is named after the Oscar flag that goes up when there is a man overboard. No, I almost don't think that is Photoshop, because low-key, they have thrown Oscar into the water for rib retrievals, because on a carrier we don't get a lot of rib retrievals. We mainly get vert rep or helo rescues. So anyway, there is this thing called Shaft Alley on a Nimitz class carrier, and it is literally just a tube. It's literally just a big ass tube. It goes all the way down. It's just a ladder. There's a few nets to catch. For one of the drills, for one of the drills, one of the, I'm sorry, I contain myself because I'm thinking about it. I'm sorry. Okay, for one of the drills, one of the organizers decided, we're going to throw Oscar down Shaft Alley, and people are going to have to rescue Oscar. But Oscar made the most horrific sound as he was going down Shaft Alley. He legitimately, like, I just thud on all of the walls, every single wall. When I tell you they threw him down Shaft Alley. It was not pretty, it was not nice, it was not graceful. They just yeeted him, similar to the picture in that thumbnail. I'm sorry I'm laughing so hard. It's a sound that I will never forget. It's just, yeah, Oscar the crash dummy. It's essentially what he is. He's about 200 pounds. They use him for stretcher bearer stuff. They use him for, if it's an old Oscar that they don't mind waterlogging, then yeah, they'll throw Oscar off the boat. But yeah. Did it sound anything like a person falling down? No, it definitely did not. Oscar is just straight up hard plastic. He is 200 pounds of hard plastic. People are not. So he had quite an interesting sound going down. Oscar really is the oldest sailor in the Navy. Like, 100%. 100%. Oh God. I'm sorry. I need to calm myself, because it's just so stupid. Like, it really is. It really is. Wow, we have an amphib assault ship kitchen. That's fun. Oh, the U.S. Coast Guard encountered sharks. I think I know what story that is gonna be. But yeah. Let's pick something from here for now. Something from this channel. Since we're I know, but I figured, people would, you know, no, not Shark's Eve, please. I feel like that's just the story of like, what was it, like 3 years ago? They were having a swim call, and there was a shark that happened to stumble upon the Airbus one. Where's the Airbus one? No, we're not watching Ocean Gate videos. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. 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 2 rows up. All right. Oh, Day in the Life of an Air Boss? Are you guys want to watch Day in the Life of an Air Boss? It's like 8 minutes. Like we could do that, and then we can yap for the rest if you guys want. There's a video, Life Inside the Nimitz, 44 minutes. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the one we just watched, it was a lot of Nimitz. Like, I the only thing that was different is, of course, they talked about emails, but like, it was a lot of Nimitz footage, you know. So if there are no 538, stick my head in a bowl of ice. Oh no. No. Oh, we are definitely not watching those videos. Okay, all right. I'm gonna say everybody is cool with Air Boss. We'll watch what Air Boss does in a day. I'm also gonna get a drink. I was laughing way too hard at Oscar, bro. That was. Oh gosh.
The Air Boss is one of the personnel responsible for ensuring the smooth execution of various operations on a carrier.
So that,
let's take a look at what a typical day is like for an Air Boss serving on a United States Navy aircraft carrier.
We're gonna hide
the Air Officer, who's also referred to as the Air Boss, is responsible for all aspects of operations involving aircraft, including the hangar deck, the flight deck, and airborne aircraft up to 5 nautical miles away from the carrier. This responsibility is shared with his assistant, who's often referred to as the mini-boss. Primary flight control, also known as the tower, is where he and his assistant keep visual control of all aircraft operating within the carrier control zone, which extends from the surface up to 2,500 feet and has a circular limit defined by a 5 nautical mile horizontal radius from the carrier. This officer is typically a commander. In most cases, they are a former commander who has been chosen for promotion to captain. Yellow is the typical color of the working jersey that an Air Boss wears, but an Air Boss is free to wear any color jersey he wants because he is the representative of everyone who works on the flight deck, in the hangar bay, and in aviation fuels. Additionally, the Air Boss is accountable for maintaining visual control over all aircraft that are active within the control zone. Under Case 1 and Case 2 conditions, this responsibility may be extended outside of the control zone to encompass all aircraft that have switched to the Air Officer's control frequency. The Air Officer can exercise control outside of the control zone to carry out specific operations, such as bombing a sled or conducting air demonstrations. In addition to this, he's the authority in charge of clearing the control zone.
Look at those cool guy Ray-Ban glasses.
The control zone, those agencies that intend to operate must first receive consent from the Air Officer. This clearance will include the following information: operating instructions for avoiding other traffic as required, information concerning hazardous circumstances,
what are you planning?
and altitude and distance constraints at which the aircraft may be operated. Before embarkation, helicopter units will be certified for use on shipboard missions by their respective unit commanders or other authorities. It validates that the unit has completed all the necessary training for the parent service in preparation for the mission. Before operations, the unit officer in charge will send diagrams of embarked aircraft to the Air Officer, as well as to crash and salvage parties.
This is the Ouija board for those curious. I know a lot of people in here already are like, super well versed. But again, for people who do not know, this is what we consider the Ouija board. It essentially, there is a computer system where they can move stuff, right? But in the event that technology doesn't technology, which happens quite often, you always have the Ouija board that you can refer to to see where things are placed on the flight deck. They call it the Ouija board? Yes, they call it the Ouija board.
Request them. If the air
Interesting
department
models.
on the
Yeah,
ship
I was
has
thinking
not
that
worked
too.
with a training aircraft in a long time, or if it has newly assigned personnel, the aircraft would be landed and shut down on the flight deck at the beginning of training, and a comprehensive walk-around of the aircraft would be carried out at that time as well. This assists in familiarizing LSEs and fire and rescue personnel with the placement of emergency equipment on the aircraft, including fuel ports, fire bottles, release handles, and emergency equipment.
Yay, fire
Arming
bottles.
is another function that the air boss is
God.
actively involved in performing. The equipping of weapons will take place in a specific location that has been designated for that purpose. When forward-firing weapons are involved and the store's loading checklists need it, the
It is
area
the
in front of the
ordies, yep.
aircraft will be cleared and kept clear until the launch is finished. Arming will only be
You're
done
also gonna
once the
turn off
aircraft has
HF
come to
comms
a
as well.
complete stop, and control of the aircraft has been
There-
handed over
yeah.
to a supervisor of
There's
the
that.
arming crew.
Gonna set a
The
hero
crew is
condition.
required to obey predetermined arming signals that have already been established. After the pilot has indicated that he's ready for takeoff and the tie-down chains and chocks have been removed, the air boss will formalize the evacuation paths for each type of aircraft to provide the arming crew
Not the
members with
Luigi
the
board.
safest possible working environment. The air boss is not the only person who monitors the activities on an aircraft carrier's flight deck. Let's have a look at the officers that work closely with the air boss on an aircraft carrier.
I was gonna say,
daily.
well, I sure hope
First
not. It's
is
just
the
left up to
catapult
one
officer.
dude.
Catapult officers, sometimes called shooters, are commissioned officers responsible for all catapult maintenance and operation elements. They ensure enough wind in the right direction and at the right speed across the deck and adjust the steam settings on the catapult so that the aircraft has enough speed to fly when released after the stroke. Additionally, it is up to them to indicate to the pilot that he or she may begin the takeoff procedure. Another is the aircraft handling officer. The aircraft crew
What's the
officer,
difference
also
between
referred to
commission and
as
not
the
like
aircraft
who in there is commission? Or so anybody, a good indicator, anybody who is wearing khaki pants on the flight deck is an officer or a chief. Anybody who is wearing blue pants is going to be an enlisted sailor.
handler,
That's
or simply
one
the
way.
handler
There's also
is in
certain
charge of
positions
the
on the
layout
flight
of
deck that are
aircraft
held
throughout
solely
the
by
flight and
officers
hangar
or solely
decks.
by enlisted.
The handler's
These guys with the
responsibility is
flight
to prevent
jackets,
a
they're
locked
going to be
deck, which
officers.
occurs when there are already an excessive number of aircraft in the area and no additional planes can land until the deck is reorganized.
They're officers, so
The
they're
handler
pilots.
is also involved in flight deck control, which is a department in which scale models of aircraft positioned on a representation of the flight deck are used to simulate the actual aircraft status on the flight deck. Additionally, there are aircraft directors, as their job
I jumped
title
ahead.
suggests.
They were already going to explain the
Aircraft
Ouija
directors
board.
coordinate all
They
the
just didn't
movement
call it the
on
Ouija
flight
board.
decks and hangars of an aircraft carrier. They are aircraft bosun's mates in the enlisted ranks. They're most commonly referred to by the slang name bears, while those that operate in the hangar are referred to as hangar rats. On some airlines, commissioned officers with the job title Flight Deck Officer are also responsible for directing planes. During flight operations or a flight deck respot, there are normally between 12 and 15 yellow shirts present on the
You're
flight
calling
deck.
a rat. I was going to
These
say,
yellow shirts report
that is
directly
kind
to
of
the
an
handler
old
position on
term.
the flight deck. Although
I
aviation
definitely would
directors
not
are
say to
frequently
use
employed
now.
at airports on land, their purpose is especially important on the ship's flight deck, a tight environment where aircraft are
So they get to play
constantly
with model
taxiing
plates all
within
day,
inches of
kind
one
of.
another, and where the ship is frequently rocking and pitching beneath them. Aircraft are directed by directors who wear yellow uniforms and
TNT
communicate
Navy
with a
edition.
complex system of hand signals or lit yellow wands at night. The air boss of an aircraft carrier also works with the landing signal officer. The landing signal officer, or LSO,
Yeah, there you go,
is a qualified
LSOs.
and experienced pilot who's in charge of the visual control of aircraft in the terminal phase of the approach.
Like I said,
immediately before
Those guys,
landing.
no hearing in their
This
left
phase of
ear.
the approach is
I
immediately
can
before
guarantee
touchdown.
that one.
LSOs are responsible for ensuring that approaching aircraft have the correct configuration and monitoring the aircraft's glide path, angle, altitude, and lineup. voice, radio, and light signals are the primary modes of communication with landing pilots. Last but not least, the officer in charge of the arresting gear. The arresting gear officer is in charge of the functioning of the arresting gear, adjusting the settings, and monitoring the status of the landing area deck. The deck is either clear and ready to land aircraft or foul and not ready for landing. Depending on the aircraft type, the arresting gear engines will apply a different amount of resistance, also known as a weight setting, to the arresting cord. The air boss works hand in hand with these officers to ensure that all operations on a flight deck go as smoothly as possible. That'll be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned.
Okay.
Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Alrighty. Well, that was Airboss. All right. Let's go back to our yapping position, shall we? But yeah, it's a pretty good. You know, they've got some catchy channels. Definitely a catchy thumbnail. The Oscar thumbnail again was pretty fucking wild. I'm still gonna laugh about that because it was hilarious. I wish that's like one of those moments I wish I recorded, because it's like, what, like, I don't know. I just will never forget the sound of Oscar. At least got to know what they do on a carrier. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of jobs, obviously. And the biggest one is going to be the flight deck and all the, you know, all the shit with the planes. If I were to sum it up into one sentence, that's the main job of a carrier, is you are a floating airport. Your missions are going to be air support based. So, yeah. I mean, if there's any questions, I am totally open to answering questions. There are some things that we kind of leave on the burner, but other than that, should try to land on the carrier to dark. I mean, plenty of people do it. I'm definitely not one of them, though. Definitely not one of them. Oh god. Oh gosh. My ship, we throw Oscar into the ocean to see if watchstanders were doing their job. Yeah, so we never threw Oscar. We threw Oscar in like once or twice. But literally that was just because we were getting a new Oscar and the hurricane throwing him in. And we also hadn't done a rib recovery in a while. So they had to qualify with the Third Fleet SAR to make sure that they were still in practice and everything was good. Have they announced the launch date for the next Enterprise? Not that I know of. I mean, I could double check. It's been pushed back. I think you said November 25 was planned. Let's see. Yeah. It does say November 2025. But its planned delivery is March 28. There are still rumors that it's 29. November 25 is when it's supposed to officially replace the Eisenhower. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but yeah, we gotta stay flexible with stuff like this. Not my Ike. I know you're Ike. Yeah, it's time. The Rainbow Bridge of Ships is calling her, I fear. Her in the Nimitz. How many Oscars on a carrier? If you lose him, you have exercise to practice with. We're supposed to have one per damage control locker. Did that happen? No. I think we had 4? I'm not quite sure. It's not very often that Oscar gets replaced, though, so which is why we were able to sacrifice one Oscar. But yeah. Yep. Yeah, Ike is still serving, but Enterprise will be her replacement. Yeah. The circle of life. It's the circle of life. You can't be serious, Remy. No. Remy is correct. That is what happens, unfortunately. Is these ships get replaced eventually. They don't work as they intend to. The carrier life cycle, normally we say 60 years is the max amount. There is a half-life refueling, which we consider RCOH, and that happens at the 30-year mark, 35 sometimes. And that is supposed to extend them an extra 30 years. That didn't necessarily happen with the Nimitz. But the idea is that they can serve max 60 years. So, is there a karaoke room on board? No, but we definitely do have karaoke in the mess decks for any brave souls who wish to sing in front of the entire crew. That is something that happens when we're out to sea. Those usually happen like, I don't know, like 7 p.m. The MWR will set up a karaoke machine and people will sing. It's fun. It's cool, Not necessarily my cup of tea. I definitely was not a karaoke person, but we also did a few other like fun activities that were on board. Like we did a lip sync battle, which was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. People dressed up and they choreographed routines together. So that was pretty fun. No, sailors do not sing all together. The only time we sing all together is when we are forced to in boot camp. Love the model. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. A nuclear reactor vessel gets brittle over time as radiation damages them. Can you replace the reactor vessel on a nuclear character? So, I can't go into too much detail about the reactor, just because I'm not really quite sure, what I'm allowed to say, what I'm not allowed to say. For sure, though, the equipment that is down there is rented out from a company. It's contracted out. It is extremely expensive, and it is all laser cut. Like each piece is laser cut, and it takes a stupid amount of time just to make some of these machineries. They have to be precise. So, I mean, usually by the end of the life cycle, I would say that those machines, it goes through wear and tear. It's just, not feasible. But yeah. Yeah, with the current, Nimitz is definitely going to the scrapyard, I fear. It's not. It's not impossible. For those ships to be turned into museums, but it definitely is costly, and I think it's important to remember that the preservation of ships in general is kind of left up to a group of people that wants to do it, that wants to put the money into it. I mean, this is why VFleet is so important, right? These ships are run by, historians, people who want to preserve history, and they rely on things like donations, which is why I'm here and why the rest of VFleet is here. We want to raise awareness. We want people to go visit their museum ships, and to keep people coming and keep people attending. So one, they get exposure to history, and two, these ships can stay running. But yeah. Those future generation people may not know this carrier exists. I would say there is definitely something to say that going and being able to experience ships and being able to experience a naval history firsthand is definitely different than learning about it from a book. Do I think that we are ever going to lose the history of nuclear carriers? Absolutely not. And I'm sure that we will probably preserve one Nimitz class, but again, like it is very costly, and the interest has to be there from groups who want to restore these ships and make them into a a museum essentially. So. Is there going to be a VFleet musical? Good publicity, right? Actually, funny enough, Josie and I have joked about a VFleet musical. I am not a singing talent. I leave those up to my very talented shipsters and jet sisters. I will play tree number 5. I will be a tree in the background. I will definitely not be singing. But yeah, I'll take on tree number 5, maybe rock number 2, I can't confirm getting to walk on the Hornet was vastly different experience than watching stream tours. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think stream tours are great. Absolutely fantastic. And I absolutely love that, like, other, other talents outside of VFleet are getting the exposure, and they're able to expose their audience to it. It's really, really cool, but definitely visiting these places is top notch. Hi, I wish the original Enterprise was turned into a museum. The serving admiral on the ship fought hard to preserve the ship as a museum. He did. There was a team that was, did want to preserve the Enterprise, but unfortunately, there are certain things that go into preserving ships to serve in a museum capacity, and the money unfortunately was not there. So yeah, CV6 was supposed to go to New York instead of Intrepid. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard, especially as somebody who like loves ships. It's kind of like I don't know. I feel like I would be like a junk collector. If I had all the money in the world and I could just like buy every ship and preserve them as a museum, I would. 100%. It's kind of giving the same energy. One of my siblings, do you guys remember Zoo Pals? Like, my siblings would want to keep the Zoo Pals. Like, they don't want to use them as plates. I feel like it's the same energy, But yeah. Didn't her crew say it was better to let her go than to let her rot? Yeah, exactly. These ships have spirits. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain to somebody who's never served on a ship. And if you have served on a ship, maybe you can back me up on this. Your ship has certain quirks to it. You learn about that thing. You live on it I lived on mine for 3.5 years, They have a spirit of their own. It's kind of like when you name your car or something, and your car turns into a personification of itself. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than, like, you get really attached to the ship. When the Lincoln eventually goes to the wayside, I of course am going to be, kind of happy. Partially happy because I'll be like, oh, good. She's not terrorizing others. but at the same time, she does have a spirit. And I do have a lot of memories on that ship. So it is going to be hard, when I'm in my old age to let her go. But hopefully she'll be out there serving some more time for a little bit. But yeah, stories of things that are happening that shouldn't. I mean, yeah, it's just 3.5 years. Like, that was, and I lived on it. I lived on that ship. So it wasn't like it was just I went to go to work at McDonald's, and now the McDonald's building is getting demoed. Like, I lived, worked out, ate, slept, did everything on that ship. So we say it's true. The ship I served on has been retired for a long time. Yeah. When I also, I want to just preface, when I say I'll be happy, we all have our moments where the boat pissed us off. So, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Be like, ah, oh, perfect, you know. It's not here to terrorize anyone else, but at the same time, you know. I recall a story of the ocean liner stubbornly holding on to let her passengers and crew get off before she slipped beneath the waves. But yeah, that is the I guess unfortunate reality and something that we do talk about. But you know, our message at VFleet still stands that for those that have been turned into museum ships, it's very important that people continue to visit, they continue to participate. If you're able to volunteer, absolutely volunteer. Keep that history alive. Like, when I tell you, like, people who visit museum ships and stuff like that, they are, I would almost argue, just as invested as I am in the ship that I served on. You know, they have memories there as well. Kids who went on field trips for years and years to the same ship, or, you know, they have a favorite docent that works on there. You know, they hold memories. So it's not just the history that they carry, it's also the memories. So she's at Newport waiting, but Mobile, Alabama wants to scrap her too. Yeah. My uncle and a friend of dad worked on that one too. Yeah. Remember a guide on the Midway say that modern carriers will most likely never be converted to museums due to the reactors requiring decommissioning. There may never be any new carrier museums. Yeah, so like I said, those machines are rented out. It's a contract. Again, I can't give I can't give too much information about you know, the nuclear side and stuff like that, but it would be extremely pricey to convert them into a capacity where they could serve. So, as a museum. Slowly convert the Lexington. So what are you planning to do to Lexi? But Carrier Con? Oh gosh. It said Lexi Carrier Con? So are folks gonna Neuralink into the ship and become the ship? No, never. I can tell you exactly why that would never happen. We are not even allowed to have Bluetooth on our phones at certain times during MCon. We are definitely not hooking up any Neuralink to ships anytime soon. There shall be no Gundam piloting of of carriers. Not only is it a you know, a huge security risk, but you know, it increases the attack surface. Maybe they could be connected to the power grid and still used as reactors? What? You want to use people as reactors? No. I I think there are some big ethical concerns with that one. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. How about just Neuralinking with Oscar to feel the thrill of the exercise in first person? No. Oh god. Oh, that would be awful. I just... Oh no. No. Is the nuclear that fatal to everyone? No, actually, the Navy's nuclear program is a lot safer than other nuclear programs out there. There is a intense amount of training that comes before people even work in the reactor. So just the plant, I should say, not the reactor. They go through a shit ton of school. They have training every 6 months. They have to recertify every 6 months. And there is also a team called ORS that comes out and trains them. So just on training alone with how to handle, you know, issues like that, we we have one of the most intensive programs. Shout out Admiral Rickover. But also there are like certain precautions and the way that the plants are built. Again, I would have to look up what I am allowed and not allowed to say. But there are failsafe after failsafe after failsafe, I can assure you. Unfortunately, I had to do my plant walkthrough for my ESWAS. But yeah. And I did my plant walkthrough at midnight. Oh God, that was rough. I'm not even gonna lie. But it was cool. I got to see the rock. That was pretty sick. There is a way to see the rock. But what I can say is there are safeguards, there are fail-safes, and of course, the training program that those guys go through is intense and insane, and the procedures they go through is intense and insane. I personally would not survive. Nukes have like zero work-life balance. I'm just gonna be very clear. I just tuned in today. What is VFleet? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. So, VFleet, we are a group of, I was about to say shipsters. Ship girls and jet sisters. And we have a pilot named Adrian. And he's super cool too. And our main mission is just to bring and let people know. Oh, thank you, Remy. Remy actually pinned our website. Perfect. Our main goal is to raise awareness about ships, the history of museum ships. Sorry, I got super excited that you asked me. To raise awareness about Navy, ships and the museums, and, let people know that they should be going and they should be supporting their local museum ships. Absolutely. I'm talking about commercial reactors. Even assuming the ship's tech is more durable, there's still some hard limit for reactor. Well, yes, of course. There's always going to be hard limits for nuclear power. I mean, like we gotta be real here. Yes. But just explaining that, the ship programs, they are extremely strenuous. They cover a shit ton of bases. So there's nothing to worry about. Like, I will never have to worry about radiation in my life working on an aircraft carrier. You would get more radiation from one X-ray than I did in my entire 3.5 years on board the Lincoln. So, just to put that in perspective, Yorktown, actually, I would get more radiation walking outside and going and sitting in the sun for 30 seconds than I would serving 3.5 years on the Lincoln. Not singing, do you have any instrument prowess, like banging a bin or ringing a triangle? Dude, I am fucking fire at cowbell. More cowbell. No, but actually I did play the trumpet, in school growing up. That was fun. I played a mean recorder solo in 4th grade. My teacher actually had like a belt system, kind of like in karate, for recorders. I had a black belt in recorder. Yeah, I was that cool. But yeah, that's mainly it. I dabbled in piano a little bit in high school, but that and guitar, but nothing to where I was like shredding like Jimi Hendrix. Like, absolutely not. But we also had recorder karate. I see that. I'm so happy that this is not just like my own experience and we could share in this. Oh my god. People used to get stressed the fuck out before their recorder belt test, man. Yeah, those scales were getting people. hot cross buns all of a sudden like became like, hot, it was just horrible. People were getting so nervous about playing hot cross buns for their karate recorder belt test. All right, see you, Dino Guy. I remember annoying my parents playing Christmas songs on my recorder in April. Honestly, kids are funny, man. They've got some like hyper fixations. I was watching this one video, and we're going back to to comments that I find on different social media sites. So I'm watching her. She's a mom. She's got like her kid playing in the background, and the kid is watching The Grinch. And somebody commented like, "Why is The Grinch playing in your house in April?" And people were essentially like, just wait. Like they get hyper fixated on something. And then somebody was like, I guarantee she's watched The Grinch like 6 different times today. Oh gosh. Acoustic, not electric. Time for the debrief, 2 hours. So thank you, Remy. Yes, I lose track of time often, so thank you. Alrighty, guys, so we're gonna wrap up here. I had a shit ton of fun yapping with y'all, and we watched some videos, and I did a little bit of ship-splaining, but, I feel like not too much. I didn't well, actually, which is awesome. But anyway, as we do for every stream, we're going to do Liberty Call, Liberty Call. Okay, don't make a life, don't take a life. Don't add or subtract to the population. It's like the same thing, but still, And then, thanks for the midday motivation. Well, you're welcome. Man. Yeah, don't add to the population. Don't subtract to the population. If you're driving, don't drink. And if you're drinking, don't drive. And if you find yourself in jail for whatever reason, make sure you establish dominance as quickly as possible. Tomorrow we are playing Portal, which I am super excited about because I've not played Portal in a while. Oh, I am so excited. It has been a hot minute. But anyway, let's see who is on right now. We have let's see. Yes, play with portals. Alrighty, I'm gonna set up a raid. We have 2 friends of the fleet. Let's raid into Airshow. Looks like Airshow is playing DCS, so let's go. Make sure you guys, show force. You say hi. And also behave yourselves in other people's streams. Jeez. Not that we've had a problem, but I just have to remind. Alrighty, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow for Portal. Bye, guys.
Oh my god, and Eve's here.